And we're live from slightly overcast June gloom, South Central Los Angeles, California. My name is Mark, and I'm a recovering codependent narcissist. I've really been looking for love my entire life. I've been looking for unconditional love my entire life, because unconditional love is the only type of love that there is. If there are conditions attached to love, then it's something different. It's not love. Love is just unconditional love is being 100% accepting of yourself or another person without judgment for wherever you or I are on our paths. That's what real unconditional love is. Zero judgment, just a understanding of where people are at, including myself, including self. And unconditional love is really a kind of at the center of what it is to be in the divine feminine. All mothers are supposed to be unconditionally loving towards their children. That's just kind of a characteristic of the divine feminine. But my mother was not. Everything in my life to get her love was conditional. If I did whatever X that was somehow aligned with my mom, then I would receive love and attention and affection. But if something didn't align with her, then love would be withheld. Love would not come. There would be a lot of judgment, or worse yet, it would trigger, my mom into some sort of rage state where I would receive emotional and physical abuse. So understanding what unconditional love means, I've never had any sort of map or guidepost or guideline to understand what that is. But I was always searching externally for this unconditional love. And because I had no clue what it looked like, what I got when I was searching for was also not unconditional love. Because, like I said, I didn't really know what that looked like. And I realized that I can't give myself unconditional love because I don't know what that looks like. And what I'm starting to understand is that looking for somebody else to give me that unconditional love that I've always been looking for is I'm looking in the wrong place. I'm looking for other women to try to fix me when really I should be trying to fix myself. When really I can give myself that level of unconditional love that I've been looking for my entire life. Only now am I coming to this realization. And how this is going to look when I give myself unconditional love, I have no clue. Zero. I'm not sure even what that means or what that feels like to receive or to give that to myself. I'm always judging myself. I'm always my harshest critic. I'm always thinking that I'm not good enough and that most of the things I do aren't really have much worth to them. I really don't know how to nurture myself that much besides, maybe physically. I can run or do martial arts or do yoga, get a massage. I do eat very healthy, and all that. My crazy diets will come out in my crazy plant-based diets will come out in more later life streams. But besides those things that I do for myself, I'm not very compassionate for myself. That mental space where most people are at, there's not a lot of encouragement. There's not a lot of love. And I need to change that, and I need to heal this, because, in healing my codependency, that is really the only way to learn to develop, to have a more loving relationship with myself, so I can just learn to relax and enjoy my life most of the time. As long as I'm looking outside of myself for the people, places, and things that will fix me and make me feel good about myself, I will forever be stuck with this label of being codependent. I will not know how to transcend this label. And as long as my life harmonizes with the feelings and emotions, the vibrations of shame, fear, and separation, I'll always be a bit out of control, a bit self-destructive, a bit searching, continually searching, obsessing, being in this cycle forever, because I should be healing the divine feminine that lives within myself. And in doing so, I can give myself that unconditional love that resides in that characteristic of the divine feminine. Because really all humans, we're all creation of that perfect balance between masculine and feminine energies. That's what the yin and yang is. All of us have these energies, this male and female energies inside of us, and that's what makes us human. And until I have learned to develop self-compassion, I'm going to continue to expect relationships or other things to fill this void. And so the main work in my recovery consists of learning how to take care of myself and set boundaries, to say no. I was at one of the best parties I've ever been to this weekend, up in the hills at the very top. The very top. I've never been all the way to the top. Some baller homes up there. And I was in line waiting for the bathroom, and I asked a woman what she was most proud of in 2018. And she told me it was learning how to set boundaries and say no. And I was like, whoa, what a great answer. Because that's exactly what I'm learning, what I'm trying to do. I'm learning and trying to set these boundaries. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to give myself love. So when I ask somebody a question and that's their response, I know it's starting to work, because that's a mirror of me. These people are a mirror of me. She could have said anything in the entire world. She could have said, what have you been working on? I don't know, like whatever. But she gave me such a conscious answer that made me feel real great. And I told her that she should keep it up, because that was badass. But for me to get that answer to a question that I asked was really telling. So I was so stoked, man. It was a great party. But, sorry, I digress. How am I going to give myself more self-compassion and unconditional love? I really have no clue yet, because I've never done this to myself. I've never received this from anyone either. We're supposed to be receiving this level of unconditional love from our parents. And if your parents don't know how to love themselves, don't expect them to know how to love you. If your grandparents were alcoholics, your parents are probably adult children of alcoholics, and therefore don't really know what love is, especially unconditional love, because they didn't have that framework, those lenses themselves. So how's this going to work? I have no clue. But what I know is that it starts with not judging myself. Not judging myself at all. Not just saying I'm going to be less harsh on myself. Just not judging myself. And instead, what are you going to do? You encourage yourself. Whoa, crazy concept. More encouragement. Positive reinforcement. That's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to just acknowledge the things I'm doing well and compliment myself. Because I do a lot of things pretty well. And I'd never compliment myself. I'm never like, hey man, great job. You're killing it today. You've done a lot today. Wow, look at where you've been and like grown in like a month or a year. Whoa. I don't do anything like that, man. And I really need to start because unless if I don't do this, I can't heal myself. And that's what I'm doing, homies. I'm going all the way, and that includes this healing process, this being more compassionate to my inner child, and really healing that wounded child that lives inside of me. Because my inner child needs me, honestly. It hasn't had anybody in its entire life to really be its champion. And, well, I guess it's going to have to be me. You know, that's a huge realization that I can't look externally for the champion or for a woman to heal myself, to give me that unconditional love that I've always wanted. So to help my inner child, I just have to be more compassionate and act with a lot more care and comfort towards myself. You know, giving myself that level of tenderness that I'd give, you know, like a crying baby or like a hurt animal. So I'm going to have to love myself with encouragement and enthusiasm. And I'm going to strive to transform that inner critic into like a Will Smith level positivity coach. And I'm going to make a habit of finding things that I do well every day and acknowledging them. Because I never received this positive reinforcement from my parents. This is all new territory. And, you know, things we learn through repetition. So I'm going to have to repeatedly, you know, just praise myself for the things that I do, and especially the things I do well. Instead of, you know, just taking the good qualities or the good things I do for granted and kind of disregard them very quickly, and instead focus on the things that I don't know, that I don't do so well. Focus on those and then judge myself. And why that's wrong is because I'm trying to live to this crazy sense of perfectionism, this false standard that, you know, is just so ridiculous. Like, the idea of being perfect is impossible. If you think you're perfect, that means you're closed off to learning anything new. And we should be here learning things about ourselves or about the world every single day. Because if we're not learning, we're backsliding. And that's what the second law of thermodynamics is. If you know, so for me, it's about being authentic as fuck. And that's going to be what I'm searching for now, or aligning myself with, as opposed to this crazy false sense of perfectionism. So I'm going to start looking at the small things I do right and well, because there's a ton of them. And the things I do well, I should be focusing on, because this is really part of my path. You know, what I'm learning to do well right now is be vulnerable. So I don't even compliment myself for that or for doing these live streams. And I'm going to start, because being vulnerable and not hiding your shame that you feel, it's pretty fucking awesome, man. Just clearing yourself, clearing this karma or the samskara around your heart chakra. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty freeing. You realize that fears are just smoke. But you gotta face them. You got to face them. You got to face them head on, and that is the path to your highest self. So I'm changing all that. I need to stop doubting myself and pay attention just to the small signs of progress I have towards my goal of being my theoretical best. I'm going to tell myself all the time um, that I can manifest whatever I desire, and that I'm going to really love myself more and encourage myself more, and really take notice of how my self-confidence and my success grows. Because ultimately, until I begin to love myself, I can't receive love from others. Think about it. When I don't believe good things about myself, I can't believe it when someone else tells me a compliment. By loving myself more, I become happier because I'm meeting my own needs. And when my emotional needs are more fully met, I have love to give. My cup runneth over of love. And that's really the secret, because we're here to be more loving with one another. And I really can't do this until I become more loving with myself. Self-love, that might seem narcissistic. That's kind of the definition. So I'm calling it self-love, but you could call it self-care, whatever. Self-like. I'm going to use self-love until I change, because I like it. Ultimately, the love that I want to receive from another woman, it really is directly proportional to the extent in which I can love myself. So if I can't love myself, how am I supposed to vibrationally attract someone that can love me at that level? The law of attraction is a real thing. It's a real thing. So yeah, I'm learning new stuff every day, and really trying to implement it. I've never given myself really any level of self-care or self-compassion. I know this because I look at my outer reality as a reflection of my inner, and I see a huge disconnect, big time disconnect. So I'm excited to see where this new level of meeting my own emotional needs, where that takes me. Because if I have to rely on my happiness for another person to validate my own happiness, I'm in deep shit. Big time, deep shit. So I choose to be happy about the present moment, and I choose to be enthused about what I'm doing and where I'm going. And I'm excited. That's the thing, man. I have a lot of excitement and enthusiasm for my path, for where I'm going. And I hope this message brings you some sort of encouragement on your path to find your own truth, to be more authentic with yourself, and to give yourself that unconditional love and compassion that you've probably been searching for as well too. But I hope most of all that you understand what I mean when I tell you that even though I don't know you, I understand you. I understand your pain. And even though I might never meet you or laugh with you or hug you or cry with you or kiss you, that I really love you. Really with all my heart, I really love you because I understand you and I understand your pain. And yeah, thanks for letting me be of service. Appreciate you.